This is the 7th floor division. It is the 17th of January 2018 and we are going to be an eye in the sky, covering latest important news, making analysis and using remote viewing skills to try and go beyond what is presented to us. Obsidian black shards of awareness in high orbit will travel across time and space to bring you new perspectives. Here is a briefing of our latest space mission. We had an away team to go and inspect the mysterious Scout asteroid, which scientists identified as being of interstellar origins. In other words, it is not from our solar system and it may have come from around another star. For all we know, it could be billions of years old, and who knows the history behind it, since life may have not even had started on planet Earth when this prolonged object has been kicked tumbling into the interstellar void. The exact location of the origin is almost impossible to determine because of the immense distances and epochs that this kind of visitors must cross. No viable star system in the solar vicinity has been found as a possible source, and it seems that this kind of space rocks are encountering a solar system like ours once at least a billion years, meaning that our home may be the first encounter for the Scout asteroid. Entering our solar system at 26 km per second, it has been slingshot by the sun's gravity at roughly 65 km per second, and it is due to exit and never return. As the light reflected by the Scout shows, it could be made out of metal and covered with a dark red crust of organic compounds baked into the cosmic void radiations. If it would be a comet, then again the thick organic compounds would probably shield it from solar radiation, hence no comet tail left behind. This asteroid is a prolonged shape, some 400 per 40 meters, and its tumbling in space, sign of a dynamical situation which produced it billions of years ago. The tumbling seems to take place along more axes, and scientists had inconsistent data as to the period of rotation. However, the tumbling of such a body, if it's organic in nature, it will dampen in many billions of years, and the more rigid the body, the longer the rotation will last. Let me tell you now the actual definition of the target given to the 7th floor division space patrol. The number was 14201. You are in space, sitting on the Oumuamua asteroid. You are exploring it and finding out what it is made of, the structure, and if it is artificial. You begin to have intuitions about what is the purpose of it, if there is any. As usual, remote viewing is a great tool for knowledge, as long as you can separate the mental noise from the actual received data, so the data has been tainted with informations coming from the individual subconscious of our astronauts, and I suspect that also by the planetary subconscious. This foreign object passed through the very subconscious mental field of our solar system, not only physically, and perturbed some memory layers corresponding with its name mostly, which shows us great data about the remote viewing process also. As this object has been observed, it was named by us humans, and this way our planetary subconscious already grasped it into its web of symbols long before it to reach anywhere near our sun. This is the way the human mental field works. And then, it gives a name to objects and events, and then it covers them with layers of symbols and hopes and images and significations, so the Scout asteroid has left our solar system richer than it arrived. It left with a name and part of our dreams and emotions. And this is not purely speculation, it is real. Once got into another solar system, if any intelligent beings practice sciences similar to our remote viewing, they will be able to discern the place it has been to before and eventually its given name. I will start with the first member session and relate her findings. Here it goes. I got nausea, freefall, white clouds, fear, risk helmet, jumpsuit, gloves, sky velocity, altitude, land in a green strip of a city park with very tall super modern buildings that have spires on top of them. The green area is a long rectangle. The buildings are dark steel grey color with windows. There are trees, green grass and a paved path. I am watching the woman that did the jump fold up the parachute She's wearing a helmet so I can't see her face. She went up the elevator to a beautiful apartment, spare furniture and great view of the windows of a totally modern, clean city. No cars, so I'm not sure how people get around. I haven't done it in so long. I will send you the only drawing of one of the buildings. It doesn't do it justice. It was amazing. I kept asking for a name of the city and a date. I was looking at it and it seemed to be from the future, but I got nothing on that. The other weird thing was that the park was drawn like it was an architect's diorama. The buildings were real and functional. Strange. As you can see, the data seems mixed with a lot of noise coming from imagination. However, please notice the following words: nausea, free fall, fear, risk, sky, velocity, altitude, long rectangle, landing site, planes, crash, terror, supermodern buildings, dark steel gray buildings. Then she sends me an image of the building and lo and behold, it is a prolonged dark gray steel structure occupying the whole page. So she could sense the overall structure of the Scout asteroid, but mixed with lots of other stuff which seemed to be out of place when speaking of distant cosmic space. The nausea sensation comes from the fact that I actually put them to land on a tumbling asteroid, and remember that none of them knew in advance what they are looking at. The landing part seems to be the moment her mind made contact with the asteroid, and imagination took control, trying to interpret in a familiar manner what she saw with her intuition. So the asteroid was transformed into these high dark steel skyscrapers, and once the imagination said skyscrapers, it suddenly created a whole city of them, taking the mental astronaut away from the real target slowly. However, there is more to this than I expected, because the next member of the team sees the same woman character independently of the first, and again green patches of foliage. So here goes the words. Flight was paramount. Saw light speed to endorse effect. Endor. They might be dead. Spiraling. There is a crash landing at some point. Had a roller coaster sensation. Thrill like a thrill ride but erratic. And the blizzard. Stars. Stars moving fast and seeing them as driving through a blizzard. The lake, the crash. Tower on a mountain. Buildings, skyscrapers. Flashing lights, rhythmic, maybe a pattern, white lights. Cool, futuristic, unknown material, Matterhorn. Going down, spiral, spin, bridge, black, dark. Above, out of control, surrender, that's it. To summarize, she felt something above, spinning, spiraling, out of control. High altitude, a tower, darkness, blackness, a sensation of light speed with the stars showing as driving through a blizzard. Furthermore, because I sent them directly on the asteroid's surface, she felt to the dizziness and roller coaster sensation, a thrill through an erratic motion. If there were ever beings on that space object, they are all dead and abandoned, old hope, perhaps billions of years ago. She even caught the word Matterhorn, which is the name of a large near-symmetrical pyramidal peak in the extended Monte Rosa area of the Pennine Alps, Europe. Here again there is a clear evidence of a large rock structure in a single word. Then she actually told me more data about it, about this word Matterhorn, and she told me that in the report what I meant was light speed to Endor. At Disneyland there is a ride called Star Tours, a motion simulation ride. At some point you hear that phrase, and then that crazy forward motion and that star blizzard effect. It was the whole experience I was feeling. Also, Matterhorn was not just a mountain but the roller coaster ride at Disneyland, a wild ride inside and around the rock, not just the rock itself. But then again, what is the matter with these green planes, skyscrapers and women in space that my colleagues mentioned? We have this feminine character described wearing flying gear like red bandana, jacket, boots and said she looked like Amelia Earhart. Well, Amelia Earhart was the first female pilot to cross the Atlantic Ocean, an American pioneer, and it is still venerated among the Scout girls. Ring a bell? She is seen as the archetype of the Scout tenacity, so there is a connection to the asteroid's name. Once more, we see how the subconscious works when dealing with data. These occurrences are a lot like delayed synchronicities, a term coined by me when making this report. Amelia Earhart is supposed to have died during a crash, since she went missing and never returned from her last flight. Could this colleague of mine have witnessed to the crash of Amelia Earhart? Probably. The first member said too about this woman wearing jumpsuit, gloves, risk helmet, diving through white clouds. She lands on a green strip of vegetation and folds her chute. She is in this amazing city full of modern high buildings. She takes the elevator and the whole park looks from above like an architect's diorama, while the buildings were real and functional. No cars are seen, and the viewer is asking herself, how are people getting around with no vehicles? Great furniture. I want to tell that I kind of realized where this info comes from. There are at least two major science fiction books which are treating the subject of a strange asteroid or object coming suddenly in our solar system and harboring life and civilization inside of it. The first one is called Rendezvous with Rama by British writer Arthur C. Clarke, and it deals with an immense cylindrical alien spaceship arriving in our solar system. The second is called Eon by Greg Bear, and it deals with this asteroid suddenly appearing in our system, being named the Potato because of its shape. Inside of it, it was prolonged to infinity by some crazy futuristic technology by the humans in the future. Some million miles inside the Potato lies the Thistledown City, where the advanced humans from the future established. Both inside the Rama and the Potato, there are vast ecosystems and cities, and in both novels some characters have to enter the asteroid or ship by parachuting themselves or doing some form of skydiving. Moreover, in the Rendezvous with Rama, the asteroid is just like Oumuamua coming from the interstellar space, judging by its 100,000 kilometers per hour speed. Now, if we divide 100,000 kilometers per hour by 36,000 seconds, we see that the Rama's speed was matching closely that of our Scout asteroid, which was about 26 kilometers per second, while Rama had 27.7 kilometers per second. Let's pass to the third session, and this time Mikhail said from the beginning that he saw space, something like an old stone, great speed, velocity, impact, extraterrestrial alien technology, spaceships, something ancient, current, mind, consciousness, advanced race, hidden, repetitive activity, cold, curiosity, danger, static. To summarize, all three members of the theme were there in space, did their job and used the tools of their subconscious to explore and bring data. We need more time to become better at remote viewing, doing longer sessions, perhaps making 3D models and learning to separate better the imagination from facts. The mission is a success since all three reported space, flight, high velocity, stone structures, elongated structures, stars, cold, dark structures, out of control, spiraling. They all had this risk, fear, danger component to their sessions, as well as crashes, impacts, landings, and two of them reported this feminine character. One of them gave me the idea that maybe what they saw was a bit of the history of the places this asteroid came from billions of years ago. Perhaps there was a very advanced civilization which suffered a cosmic disaster. Perhaps that feminine figure was once alive and far, far away on a planet around another star, while here on Earth life was only beginning. This is why we need more of you to come and join our projects, because in remote viewing the more we are, the closer to perfection our data is, and then nothing will remain hidden to us. This was the 7th Floor Division Scout Asteroid Report. Being part of this division is not a job, it's an adventure.